I'll change my name.
So change your name, get yourself ready for class. You're gonna need your math notebook, and your math notebook has this inside from yesterday. Your workbook, a highlighter, and something to write with, okay? I'm gonna mute you all while I get into the next classroom because I'm moving from this class into the one next door. So I'm gonna mute you all, okay?
Okay.
So today we have some special guests. You guys are live from studio room 200 with some of our online friends. And they're all muted right now, but I just want to pan over. You guys say hi. What's up? Hi, what's up?
Hi, sister.
So if you are a sixth grader on Zoom right now, we need to be able to see your face. We got to know that you're here. And I'm not going to be putting the camera anymore on them. It's going to be on me and my content. So we need you to turn on your camera and keep yourself mute for now. And then later on, we're going to have some question time. So if you have a question for me, I want you to have a scrap of paper nearby to write down. This is the first time we're doing this. So please be patient. You guys too. Let's cooperate. I picked a content today that I think is a little more manageable for us to do as a large group, okay? So the things that I need out from both of you are gonna be your math notebooks that have this glued inside from yesterday's lesson, okay? And yes, I know you have homework pages for me, 200, I know that. And I'll collect those in a little while. But you need your math notebook open to this page, okay? I'm just pulling it up. I don't know why I'm pulling it up here. And you guys, you know which paper I'm talking about, right? So I'm gonna ask you to change your paper a little bit and add some important information. So I'm gonna share my screen of what I'd like you to add. All right? Can everyone see that? Shake your head yes or no. All right, I want you to change the paper that you had to match some extra information we're gonna talk about today. And I'm gonna step away so I can demonstrate up on the board, and Mrs. Doherty's gonna be here on the side until I'm ready to come back in, okay? So you guys have this. They can hear me, I'm thinking.
Am I pointing this at you?
Just listen. So in the subtraction category, there's a couple of important sort of like magic words and phrases. And those ones we're going to learn about today in our content. But I want you to draw attention to them on your paper here. So please circle the words fewer than, less than, and we're going to add in another word from. I'm going to write them on the board here for you. I'm going to circle each of those. And the online kids right now are looking at the very same thing. And I don't have my like extender camera with me. I can go grab it if you want to like maybe point. Do you think that would be?
I'm turning around.
So I'm going to stop my sharing. Maybe I should go grab my little camera that plugs in. Okay. Mrs. Doherty is going to be my camera woman today. Next to these three terms or three words, I want you to, just in this margin over here, guys, please write turn around words. We're going to practice and demonstrate what that means in just a moment, okay? There's special magic subtraction words that when they are in the expression that you're working with, it takes the terms involved and reorganizes them, rearranges them, turns them around. So you're going to want to know that, especially for subtractions. I have a question for you. When you have two terms and you're adding them, 2 plus 3, does it matter if they are reversed, 3 plus 2? Is 2 plus 3 the same as 3 plus 2? Is it the same? Do you remember why? What property allows addition to reorder and there's no difference? What property? Anyone? And if you're online and you remember what that name of that property is, press the raising hand button too. All right. Not associative, but close. You're on the right page in the math book. You're on the right page. Starts with the C. Zoe, is that you raising your hand over here? Okay. I'm gonna unmute you. Can you unmute yourself? What's the property?
The commutative property.
Everyone give Zoe. Yes, commutative property allows reordering, right? And there's no change in the result. But what if you did that with subtraction? Could you do 3 minus 2 is the same as 2 minus 3? Is that possible? It's not, right? So in subtraction, you're going to have some things called turnaround words to help you with the placement and the position of terms. I'm going to write down a math statement right here. Here's the expression we're going to work with. It's 7 minus 4. Okay, can you guys see that over here? I'm going to zoom in right over here. It's just 7 minus 4. Now look at your subtraction words. Tell me a different way to say that. Don't use any of the turnaround words yet. Use the regular subtraction words. So 7 minus 4 has already been used. What's another one, Evan, that I could use? Take away. Everyone say 7, take away 4. Louder.
7 take away 4.
Louder in there. 7, take away 4. Okay, what's another way you could say it? Pick a different word. Luke, what's another one? Decreased by. Okay, everyone say 7 decreased by 4.
7
Decreased by 4. I can't hear you in there. 7 decreased by 4.
7 decreased by 4.
Okay, pick another one. Not a turnaround one. Just a regular subtraction one. Don't give me one. 7 subtracted by 4. Okay? 7 subtracted by 4.
7.
Now pick a turnaround word. Nicholas, pick a turnaround word. What's one of the turnaround ones we circled? Fewer than? Okay. When I say that, with this problem, which way do I say it? Do I say 7 fewer than 4 or 4 fewer than 7? 4 fewer than 7, right? So watch, it goes turn around, right? And the ordering changes based on which of these terms I'm using. Colin, what's another turnaround phrase? Did you do fewer than? Okay, what's another one we can use?
Shared.
We're in subtraction and we're looking at only the circled turnaround words. So what's another one?
Less than.
Less than. Decode this and use less than. So would I say 7 less than 4 or 4 less than 7? I would say 4 less than 7. Is that making sense, guys? If I said using the word from, I would say 4 from 7. So it would be reordered like that. Those special words are going to come into play today. Right now, I want you to open up your math workbook to page 7. Have a highlighter and have a pencil. And guys, I'm going to do some screen sharing right here, okay? And I think my Sadlier Connect is pulled up for these guys. I'm so proud of you guys. There's 22 of the 24 sixth graders on this. Way to go, you guys. So I'm really glad to see the meeting ID worked and the password got in. We are sweating it over here at school trying to figure this all out, but I'm glad to see that it's working. Okay, workbooks are open to page 7, and I'm going to screen share with you guys while I'm talking. Chapter 1, 1.4 on the homework side.
Chapter 1, 1.4.
Mm-hmm. So when you open your math workbook, you're going to see that on section 1.4 are some of those math terms that we've been talking about together, right? All right?
Give us 2 of them, 2 choices.
I don't know why there's 2 choices. Just pick one of them.
Okay, do the
Yeah, same one. Yep. And then would you go to student edition, please? Perfect.
Here we go.
All right, take your highlighter, guys. And over here in this column where it says word expressions, we're going to play I Spy a Math Word again. Just like you did. Oh, just like you did for homework. But I will tell you, it's a little bit easier than yesterday because some of the terms have a special characteristic to them. Did you notice? They're in italics, which is like a slant, right? So it's kind of easy to locate them. In this first one, call out the word that means a certain operation. What is it? Sum of a number and 7. Which is the key math word there? Sum. Highlight the word sum, everyone. Highlight the word sum.
Doesn't the tiny board here work with this?
It will.
I don't see the.
I don't know where her little button to overlay it is, and so I was
don't see
upset
that
it was
either.
in this room.
It's not even on here. Dang it.
All right, how about the next one? X increased by 5. What's the key math term, Luke? Increased by. So highlight increased by in your book here. All right, how about 10 more than a number, Finn?
More than.
More than, nice work. All right, how about the next one? A number added to 4. Go ahead, Erin. Added. What's the key math term next, Shane? Plus. Next one, Izzy? difference. Next one, Natalie, what's the next one? 75 decreased by D. What's the key math word? Decreased. Good job. Go ahead, Ellie.
Less than.
Less than. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, Katerina. Subtracted from. Highlight subtracted and from. Because if it said just subtracted, then it would be in this order. But since it said subtracted from, it becomes a turnaround situation where the terms are organized in the opposite order. Okay? How about the next one, Colin?
Minus.
Minus. Last one, Lucy. Subtract y from 3. Subtract. That one was easy, right? So, yeah, I saw a bunch of math words. Now I want you to correlate them with the algebraic expressions next door, okay? So I'm gonna stop my sharing, and I think that you guys can see a little bit right here.
Hold on, let me freeze this. You could maybe try the time. I think I got it to work.
Okay. So this value, or this symbol, that plus sign, correlates with the word sum, right? So I was just looking for you guys to go and highlight or circle all of those different symbols. Nice job, Mary. See, this is why we called you into class today. Go ahead and highlight all of those math symbols down your page, okay? And I'll just go, now that Mrs. Doherty figured it out for me, I'm gonna go and highlight all of my key math terms. Good? Did you guys code up your paper a little bit? So there's something else that I don't know if you've noticed today yet that's on these expressions. There's some letters on there, aren't there? Have you ever seen letters in your math book before? Those letters are something, we're gonna go read about it right now. There's something called variables. Take your highlighter and highlight that word variable. Now silently read it, and then we're gonna discuss it. Read this paragraph up here. All right, that was enough time. It's just that top little paragraph. So a variable is a term that's used to replace an unknown amount. And for right now, all we're using it for is to represent a place in a given situation. So in our workbook today, we're looking at two different types of expressions. Ones that are written in word form and ones that are written in like symbolic form, which could be numbers, symbols, algebraic variables, but it's very condensed, right? The word one is stretched out and sometimes varies depending on what word you're using. We noticed that if it was an addition problem, some people might use the word add, some people might use the word increased by, some people might use the word combined, right? But when you look at the algebraic expression, it's kind of like cut and dry. There's only one way to write it, okay? We're gonna explore some of the page together now. And I'm gonna scroll down the page a little bit. I think actually I gotta
use the arrow.
I gotta get out of this.
You shouldn't have to. You should scroll like that.
All right, thank you.
Is that good? Or you want
Thank
one
you.
more?
No, that's perfect. And you guys are moving down the page now into the more practice section. We're going to practice the skill together. The first part of our exercise is going to have us take written word expressions and translate them into algebraic symbols, an expression that's very condensed. And then towards the bottom of the page, we're going to do the opposite skill, where we take an algebraic expression and then we stretch it out in a way that matches the scenario, okay? So let's look at number 1 together. First, I want you to highlight the math word that's the star of the show here. So what's the math word that's the star of the show here? Add. So go ahead and highlight the word add. So am I on the
Right now. Right, you're on highlighter.
Okay,
right
now I'm on highlighter. Thank you. Thank you, highlighter lady.
Many hats, right?
Do you want to go through and highlight all the key math words first, and then we'll go and write the expressions? Okay, I'm going on to number 2. Everyone, let's say the key math word out loud. Number 2, subtract. But what else is in there? From. Highlight from as well. Okay, go on to number 3, increase. Go on to number 4, say it everyone, decrease. Number 5, more than. Number 6, less than. Number 7, added. Number 8, minus. Number 9, sum. Number 10, difference. Okay, stop there. Are you finding that you maybe didn't have to look at your notebook as much? Are you starting to remember some of those words without having to look at your resource? That's fine, but is your resource always there for you? Yes. Okay, the next change, put your highlighter down, grab your writing tool. Howdy, come on in. Well, the more the merrier. Mr. Courage just walked in, everyone. All right, we have 23 of the 24 on. Isn't that awesome?
Great. Hi, guys.
They're over right here.
Hi, guys. First live session. All right. Good work, team.
Okay, so we're translating these written expressions into algebraic ones. And I want to take a look at the 2 terms involved, okay? In number 1, can you see one of the terms involved? What's one of the terms, Finn? That's what we're gonna do to the terms, but what are the 2 terms? What's one of them? Okay, the X and the, what's the other one? 8.5. Those are the 2 terms. And what are we gonna do to them? We're going to add them. We're gonna put them together. So let's write it on the screen here. X plus 8.5. You got it. Everyone at home have that on their workbook? When we say that out loud, we can say X plus 8.5, but usually when you speak about a variable, you say a number and 8.5, because the phrase a number means any variable that I could have chosen. So Nicholas might have used G, Parker might have used Q. It doesn't matter what variable you use, as long as you know it represents an unknown quantity, right? In this example, they gave us the variable, but if you're writing your own, you can pick what letter to use. Number 2, careful, because I see a turnaround subtraction word. So we have to be careful about the placement of those 2 terms. So number 2 says subtract 7 from T. How would I write that as an expression? I see a couple hands up already. Good. 7 from T. Isaac, what are you thinking? So Isaac's suggesting we put the T in the front and the 7 behind it because it's a turnaround subtraction word. What do we think about that? Good? So we're going to put T minus 7. Okay? Number 3, John. Y plus 6. This is getting easier, right? Now we're rolling. Number 4. Go ahead, Allie. P minus 9. You got it. Aaron, go for it. Number 5. Q plus 21. Why? Because of what word? What sneaky word was there? Than, right? So it made it go, whoop. So we know addition is commutative, which means that won't change the result, the order. But if we were translating it, we would want the translation to match what is written on the page. Okay? So Q plus 21 is the exact translation, but an equal translation would be 21 plus Q. Okay? Number 6, W less than 150. All right, Parker, which comes first? Which comes second? You got it. The 150 comes first because it's a turnaround situation. That word than forces them to rearrange. Number 7, a number added to 33.8. A number added to 33.8. Izzy, what are you thinking? Okay. So what variable do you want to use? She's going to use X, but you can use any variable that you'd like because it did not state specifically which variable they wanted you to use. I have a question for you. Now that we're into choosing our own variables, do you think that you have seen any uppercase letters yet? We're using lowercase letters to represent variables, okay? What lowercase letters should we probably steer clear from? That it might get a little tricky when we're writing letters and numbers. And what should we write? Paige, I see you going like this. Do you want to suggest a certain number or a letter? Okay.
Yes.
What letter or number should we kind of stay away from?
L.
We should stay away from using the lowercase L. Why? What letter, what number will it look like?
It looks like 1.
It looks like a 1. And we don't want to get confused. Is that a variable L or is that the number 1? Steer away from using an L. What else? We're going to take one more person from the online class. Anyone else? Zoe, is that your hand up? Okay. All right. Zoe, what other letter should we kind of stay away from?
O.
She said stay away from using O because it looks like a
0.
0. Nice job. Okay. How are we doing over here, everyone? Good so far? All right. Let's keep going. Number 8. 689 hundredths minus a number. How do I write that, Shane?
600.89 minus like a variable
Like A. Sure. We can use A. All right. Number 9. The sum of 3.5 and a number. Go ahead, Karina.
3.5 C.
Z. Oh, she said C. Okay. Good. Number 10, the difference of a number and 42. Go ahead, Evan. Did you say F? Okay, so should I have the F in the front or the 42 in the front? Is this a regular subtraction word or a turnaround one? It's a normal one, so I should put what's first first and what's second second. So tell me. Well, what was first? The F was first. So I'll write the F first, then the minus, then the 42. Okay? Are we comfortable with that portion of the page? We're going to scroll down now. Cue scrolling, Mrs. Doherty.
Scrolling. Yeah,
and
we're gonna get rid
clear
of
the
this one.
annotations. Okay, now we're gonna do the opposite skill where we're taking just a simple algebraic expression and we're going to put it to life. The directions only ask you to give one written expression, but I want to come up with a couple. I'm asking you to write at least 2 on your paper. Let's talk about some. You might want to have your notebook handy, so if you are forgetting some of your adding words or some of your subtraction words, then you have that on hand. Okay, I'd like to start with number 12 actually. We'll come back to number 11. Go to number 12. It has an X and a plus and a 24. There's probably 7, 8, 9 different ways to say this, right? Use the math words in your notebook. And if you are over here online, type some in the chat box, okay? John, what's one way I could say number 12's expression? He said X increased by 24. Good, you could write that one down. Give me another one. I haven't heard from you in a while today. Bernard, can you give me one? Sure. Say it, all of it. Say the whole expression. X and 24. Add X and 24. Good job. All right, give me another one, Isaac. The sum of X and 24. I'm seeing some of you pop in online and saying that same thing. Some people are saying 24 added to X, or X more than 24. So using some more of the terminology. Let's pick 2 and write them down. I put the sum of X and 24, and I put X increased by 24. I know that might be a little tricky to read from far away, but we're doing our best. Now let's go back to number 11. And I asked you to do number 11 after, because I know subtraction gets a little tricky sometimes, where it depends on if you're using a regular subtraction word or a turnaround one. The ordering matters. So make sure your 2 terms, 9.6 and X, are in the order they need to be when you're using a specific subtraction word, okay? Are you looking at your subtraction chart? Okay, give me one way to say that. Give me one way to say that, Riley. Can you give me one way?
9.6 subtract by
Perfect. 9.6 subtracted by X. What's another way I could say it, Shane? 9.6 decreased by X. Give it, or you're gonna say that one. Okay, pick another one. Open up your notebook. Pick another one.
Is it fine if I say a number? Does it have to be X or
In this scenario, they do want you to say, use X, but you can say a number. Yeah, you can say that.
9.6
A number. Very good. 9.6 minus a number. Give me another one, Luke, and then Lucy, and then Sloan. Ooh, he did use a turnaround one. He said X less than 9.6. So we had to turn around the terms to put them in the right order. Okay, Lucy, did you have a new one? Nice. She said the difference of 9.6 and X. Okay. Did you have another one, Sloan? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Isaac. I'm sorry, what? I still don't hear what you're saying. Oh, go on. Do mail. I get it. Finley, go ahead.
then 9.6.
And that's what I'm seeing right now on the screen from Eddie. He's saying X fewer than 9.6. You guys are right. X fewer than 9.6. Good job. All right. We're going to scroll to the next page. And I know that it's homework, but I want to help you understand something, okay? Before you go and do it on your own. So Mrs. Doherty's going to scroll to the homework page for me. And I want you to turn your page to page 8. Don't do anything yet. I want you to look at number 7, 8, and 9 and read the instructions for 7, 8, and 9. The instructions on that part of the homework, they're asking you to write your own algebraic expression. So what's an algebraic expression? It's a condensed representation of all of this written word information, okay? So we're just going to be using symbols, numbers, and letters to represent unknown quantities, okay? I want to do number 7 with you. Let's read number 7 together. Kaden is 4.3 inches taller now than she was last year. How tall is Kaden now? So there's a couple different ways that you can at least document what you know. You can choose X or your number to represent how tall she is now, or you can use X to represent how tall she was a year ago. And depending on what you choose, will decide if you are going to need to add to that value or subtract from that value, okay? So how about we do it both ways just to see what it looks like. I'll use 2 different colors. First, I'm going to let my variable, I'm going to choose X. I'm going to let X represent how tall she is now, okay? So I'm going to put let X equal how tall she is now, okay? If I wanted to write an expression now using that variable X and the 4.3, what operation needs to connect with them to match the scenario? If X is how tall she is right now, and she used to be shorter, how would I write an expression that represents,
This one is very touchy. Let me undo that.
sorry, how tall she is now?
Is that
X is how tall she is now. How would I write an expression that matches how tall she was last year if that's what I had to write down? What would I do to that X? I see Zoe's hands up. Anyone else have an idea of how would I write an expression that matches what happened? Go ahead, John. Okay. So maybe reorder that though, because her height, take away 4.3 would tell you what she was last year, right? Okay, how tall she is now. So X minus 4.3, this part would tell you how much she was last year. Okay, so it depends on what you want to select for your variable to be. If you wanted your variable to be, I'm going to use a different color now. If you wanted your variable to be, we'll use Y, how tall she was last year, how would you change the Y and convert it to how tall she is now? What would you do to the last year's height? Would you make it bigger or smaller? What would you do? What happened? Did she get bigger or smaller, everyone? She got bigger, right? By how much? 4.3. So what will we do to that variable? We should add to it, right? So the expression that matches this, and I'll write it off to the side here, would be y plus 4.3. So keep that in mind while you're working through some of these problem solving ones. There is not going to be one way to do it. You're going to have to see what information you're given and then sort of defend that understanding with carrying it out in a certain way. But I'm really excited that this went as well as it did. This lesson is recorded also, so I'm going to actually download it and then upload it into that Google Classroom assignment posting in case any of you want to go back and revisit some of the content from today, okay? So I'm going to turn this around one last time before we dismiss class. So you guys can all wave hi if you guys want to wave to your classmates here and say, good job, everyone. Okay. And say bye to my tech support, Mrs. Doherty.
I'll see them at 2 if they'd like.
And right, Mrs. Doherty said, if any of you online kiddos are needing a little more help with today's content, you know that she has Zoom office help starting at 2 o'clock. So give her some time to get to her office. But until next time, all right, we'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.